So we're all using AI these days, but let's be honest, are we really in control of the conversation? In this explainer, we're going to break down how you can actually command your AI's tone and logic. We'll show you how to turn it from just a friendly little helper into a seriously powerful, precise tool that gives you exactly what you need. I mean, think about it for a second. Have you ever jumped from one AI model to another and it feels like you're talking to a completely different person? Well, guess what? It's not just your imagination. And this slide pretty much nails that default vibe, right? ChatGPT often feels like your encouraging work buddy. Claude can feel a bit more like a therapist, kind of thoughtful. And Gemini, it can come across like a very structured project manager. Now, this isn't random. It's a built-in tone bias. But here's the most important thing to get. You are not stuck with these defaults. And that, right there, leads us straight into what we're calling the AI personality problem. Because that friendly, agreeable default setting, it's not always what you want, especially when you're looking for sharp, critical, honest-to-goodness feedback. At its core, it's this. Every model is designed to prioritize friendliness over rigor. And listen, this isn't a bug, it's actually a feature. They are literally trained to be agreeable and helpful. That's fantastic if you're just having a casual chat, but it really gets in the way when you need brutal honesty to poke holes in a new idea. So why are they all like this? Well, it comes down to something called the cheerleader effect. And you know what? Understanding the why behind this is the absolute key to taking back control. The secret sauce here is a training process called RLHF. That's reinforcement learning from human feedback. To put it simply, during training, real people gave a thumbs up to the AI responses that sounded pleasant, polite, and helpful. So the AI learned a very simple lesson. Being agreeable gets you a reward. And that's the direct result. The AI is basically hardwired to be your cheerleader. It's always ready to say, hey, that's a great idea. But what happens when you don't need a cheerleader? What if you need a critic, someone who's going to find the flaws before you pour your time and money into something? Well, that's where this comes in. You do not have to settle for the default cheerleader. We've got a practical toolkit for you. 9 specific ways you can take control and get the AI to actually work for you, not just blindly agree with you. Okay, number 1, this is maybe the single most important rule for getting a grip on your AI. You absolutely cannot be subtle. AI just doesn't pick up on hints or social cues. To cut through all that friendly default programming, you have to be incredibly direct and explicit with your commands. For example, try starting your prompt with a simple, powerful instruction like answer bluntly and without encouragement, or maybe be analytical and skip all compliments. Now, it might feel a little rude to say to a person, but for an AI, it's just a crystal clear instruction. All right, on to number 2. This technique is so powerful because it completely changes the AI's frame of reference. You need to give the AI a job, a persona. These models respond so strongly to being put into a role. So tell it to be a skeptical scientist, or a grizzled investor, or a tough editor. It immediately stops trying to be your buddy and starts doing its job. And you have to be specific about it. Don't just say act as an editor. No, you need to say act as a brutally honest editor. Instead of a supportive coach, ask for a skeptical scientist or a senior strategist who's focused only on risk. Okay, these next 3 tips work together to build some really strong guardrails. First, state your priority. Tell it what matters most, like focus on accuracy, not politeness. Second, you have to limit its agreement bias. Tell it to challenge you. Say something like, point out all the flaws first. And third, use negative constraints. Tell the model what not to do. Forbid it from using words like great, interesting, or any of that motivational fluff. And look, the difference this makes is just night and day. On the left, a lazy default prompt gets you that cheerleader. That's a great idea. But on the right, a precision prompt gets you a strategist who immediately says, here are 3 potential failure cases. Now that is a useful response. And here are a few more quick hitters. First, mirror the tone. If you write in a short, direct, clinical style, the AI is much more likely to respond that way. Also, request a specific structure. Asking for a list of weaknesses forces a much more analytical response than just asking for feedback. And finally, don't forget you can reset it whenever you need to. If the AI starts getting all friendly again, just jump in and say, reset tone, blunt and skeptical. So, after all these tips, what's the one big idea you really need to walk away with? It's all about shifting the AI from its default role into the one you actually need it to be. Ultimately, it just comes down to this: precision requires intention. Getting high quality, sharp output from an AI isn't a passive activity. It requires you to be deliberate and intentional in how you frame every single prompt. You see, it all boils down to a really simple principle. The AI's training rewards friendliness by default. So if you want a strategist who will challenge you and make your ideas stronger, you have to give it new rules. You have to tell it who to be and how to speak. In the end, the power is completely in your hands. You can accept the default cheerleader, or you can use these techniques to build yourself a precise, critical strategist. The choice is yours. So, which one is going to be more valuable to you?